Does your girlfriend spend all of your money? Did you get a little wild one night and buy too many skins on Fortnite? Well, today we're gonna have a budget-friendly practice with only 100 rounds. I'm gonna take you through a 100 round pistol practice warm-up. All right, so this is all the ammo we're gonna be using today. And we're gonna go through some different drills about how to maximize your ammo at the range. I'm missing one round after that. All right, guys, first things first, let's talk about what gear I'm using. Started off the Constantine carry belt, the EDC that stretches for your pleasure. Rigidity in the front, stretching the back, best way to support the channel. It's how we fund it, it's how the videographer gets paid, it's how we pay for this ammo and bring you some entertaining content. If you're on the shitter, make a comment right now. Let us know. We wanna know the first person to comment who's on the shitter. I will pin that comment no matter what you say. We also have the Tier 1 concealed MSP holster. This is light centric, so anything with a Surefire X300 is going to fit in this bad boy. So you can run your Glock, your CZ, your Staccato, whatever you want. It's gonna fit into this holster. We got some TTI mag extensions and factory followers, plus 10 springs. We got like 22, 23 rounds per magazine. And of course, we've got my trusty M&P 9. Apex trigger, Apex barrel, Holosun 507 comp, and of course the Surefire X300. My choice of flashlight when it comes to all things pistols. First things first, we are going to start off with my draw drill. If you were here for that video or the USPSA practice, you are familiar with it, and we're gonna run through again with a slight twist to help you guys maximize your time and efficiency at the range. We're gonna load up 20 rounds from this because we're gonna run through it twice, so that's 2 mags of 10 and 1 empty mag. All right, first things first with this draw drill, I got 10 yards marked out right there. And we've got this little home intruder sneaking around the wall. And our job is just to hit this little alpha box right in his dome, okay? It's 10 draws, 10 reps. We're gonna do from concealed, and the goal is around 1.5 seconds. That's what I use for my competition holster. We're gonna keep the speed with the concealment draw as well, because it shouldn't matter. You just have your draw stroke dialed in. But what this is really doing is just getting your focus set for your practice. It's getting your eyes warmed up, it's getting all your grip mechanics warmed up, getting you used to drawing that gun, presenting, and everything like that. But to maximize our time, we're gonna do 10 dry fire reps first. And that's one big thing about these lower round count practices, is doing dry fire for each one of these drills. So you're getting more reps than just the 100 rounds that you have. So I'm gonna run through this 10 times dry fire. We're gonna speed it up because it's probably gonna be kind of boring for you. And I'm just really focused on building that grip, that nice connection with that gun, building my platform so I'm nice and solid, confirming my sight pictures, and smacking that trigger. So we're gonna do the dry fire reps first, then we'll go live fire. All right, that was dry. Now we're gonna do it wet. 10 rounds. And for all you haters out there, I'm using factory Blazer 115 from True Shotgun Club. .142. 142. 136. 140. 139. 136. Ah, I pulled it. 142. 138. 140. Last shot. 135. So we got that 150 par time for all 10 shots. I got a little excited on one of them. Let's check this group on the target. We got a line breaker. That was my first shot on the target. But this is 10 shots, 10 yards, 10 reps, all 150 from concealment, using factory ammo, okay? I'm gonna tape this up, and we've got another mag. It's really hot, and I don't wanna be out here longer than I want. If I was to do this again, I would do another rep of dry fire rounds on this target before I do my live fire, but we're gonna get right to live fire because it's hot. And because it's hot. We got the next 10 rounds, and again, just to remind you guys, we're really working on the focus of the intentions of this drill, where we're building the connection with the gun. We're getting a mindful sight picture when we're breaking the shot. We're having a good trigger press when we engage the target, all within that time period to try to warm up, get our eyes warmed up, and get dialed into our platform before we start doing larger round count drills. $141. Oof, a little low. 127. 129. 126. 123. 130. Oof. 127. 122. 136. That's it. It's all 10. That was a 132. So what I was trying to do here is push my speed from the first run, and I dropped 2. This is crazy though. Okay, this is multiple shots in this little hole here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 holes right here. What? 4 shots in that little bit. But one really important piece about practice is entering that exploratory zone. So that first time through the drill, we were at like 140 something to like high 130s. And we got an almost perfect score other than a lapse in judgment I had on my sights and pulled one. This one, we started pushing the speed a little bit. We had some in the high 120s, and then like the slowest one was like 136, I think. I don't know. You guys will know because I can't. My RAM memory is not high enough to remember that stuff. But I'm pushing speed a little bit. You can see the group opened up quite a bit. We got majority of them in the box besides these 2. So we dropped 1 shot compared to the last. But practice is important to explore. You need to push your limits. If you're out there shooting your executable speed being safe, you're never going to improve. Okay, if you're on the track, you gotta slide out the tail end a little bit. You gotta hit the tires. You gotta get in the rocks. You gotta explore, and that's what we're doing here. So I pushed the speed a little bit, dropped just 1. Honestly, the shot group is not great. I'd like it tighter. But next, I got it. Well, first we gotta get ammo. Let's go back to the barrel in the shade. So we are 20% done. Wow, already. We are going to take another block of 20 rounds, and we are going to work on doubles. What this is for is to understand the tracking of your sights before we get into some other drills. And again, I've said this before, especially in recent videos, you should not be looking at your red dot. You should just be aware of it. So I know we spend all this money on them and they look so nice and you want to look at it, but you can't. You got to look at the target if you want to hit where you want to hit. So we're going to load up 20 rounds of doubles, and we are going to break that down. What does that come out to? We'll do 5 reps of 2 doubles. So boom, 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 boom. And ideally we are trying to figure out what our sight tracking looks like. And by our 5th set, we should have a nice consistent line. It could be sideways, it could be a circle, whatever it is, but it needs to be consistent. And that's gonna come with figuring out where you need to put your grip pressure onto the gun, where if you have an inconsistent pressure, you're gonna have an ununiform pattern of your dot when it's going. Or if you're staring at your dot, you're gonna notice your group is gonna go boom, boom, because you're tracking that dot up and you wanna shoot the trigger as fast as possible, and then you start doing some weird stuff. So we're gonna load up 20 rounds, and we're gonna do 5 reps of double doubles. This drill, we're going to use an open A target. This one's pretty shot up already. We're gonna aim right at the center here, and ideally we're gonna just punch a nice little hole in the target with these doubles. Shout out to our boys at T-Rex Arms, Brantley, Lucas. I love their content. I used to watch the content way back in the day before I even got into guns, but I like what they're doing over there. They got good info, they're good shooters. Brantley just took top 10 at USPSA Nationals with a Glock. Let's check it out. We said 5 reps of double doubles. Well, probably like 5 or 6 yards or something like that. Honestly, we don't even need to go from draw on this one. We're just gonna have the gun out and we're just gonna track the sights, boom, boom. Okay. It's 2. All right. 39. Ah, trigger freeze. Ah! Ah, that last rep got away from me. You know, I was thinking while that timer was going off that I probably should have been talking about what I'm doing and not just rip through those 20 rounds because it's limited. But so I was thinking about what I wanted to say during that last rep, and I let my vision look at the dot, which I specifically said not to do, but it happens. Let's look at this group real quick because it's generally pretty good. These were my last 2 follow-up shots on the last rep. I'm sorry, Lucas. I'm sorry, Brantley. But this group right here, I like. What we're seeing here is the general cluster of rounds here and a few of them just above the target. We pulled one off to the left here. That was just a trigger press on my part. But the whole idea with the doubles is, again, you're tracking your sight and you're watching it come up and down. So this is telling me that my gun is firing at the spot that I'm aiming, lifting up, and then coming back down to the same spot. And I'm trusting my grip to do that in my platform. So when I'm shooting, that gun's up and it's coming back down. When I pull the trigger, it's generally in the same spot. And then when you're thinking about the sound bite that you're gonna talk about and you get a lapse in your focus, you start throwing rounds out, which is actually a very valuable lesson in focus on these practices. When you have limited rounds, it's important to be inherently focused and shooting with a purpose the entire time. You can see right here, almost a perfect group, lapse of focus, and I threw the shots. If I was limited to 100 rounds for my practices, I'd be pretty mad that I lost focus on that. And again, if I wasn't filming YouTube, I probably wouldn't be thinking about what I'm saying because I'd seem like a schizophrenic out here if the cameraman wasn't real. They'd think I'm a crazy person and I might not be allowed to shoot on the range again because I'm talking to nobody. We got a good idea of what's going on with the sights. I got a good connection with my grip. Now I want to see what happens with a larger course of fire. So we're going to increase the round count here. We're going to burn through a little bit of ammo. And we're gonna do bill drills. Okay, I think bill drills is a good indicator of where your recoil is at and the control on the gun. And you don't necessarily need to do them at the fastest speed, and we'll talk about that in the shade. All right, cut that, and then we'll clip in the other. We want to work on some cadence fire now. We want to start feeling the gun, but we're not necessarily going for speed on this one. I want to work on that executable. I want to work on that executable pace just so I know what's going on with my gun. Just for fun, we're going to do these on steel, and we want to do some different distances just to make it an even number for the round counts on these little packs. We are going to do 5 bill drills, 6 rounds apiece. If you don't know what a bill drill is, it's drawing the gun, firing 6 shots, and that's Bill's drill. And we're going to do 5 of them for a total of 30 rounds, different distances, different paces. And like this, it will be loaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 yards, 12-inch steel. We're gonna do 6 rounds. I just want like a nice executable bill drill. We're not pushing pace or anything like that. I'm just gonna draw. I'm gonna fire 6 rounds. Beautiful. Beautiful, nice and controlled. 232, first shot 132. Now, again, it's hot. What I would do is dry fire and work through the trigger on my gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and making sure that sight is not getting disrupted. We're gonna do it live fire. .224. Nice and easy. So for dry fire, now for the M&P, I can just work this trigger. No problem. Boom, 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 boom. Without firing the gun, I can be hyper aware of what's going on with my dot. As I'm pressing the trigger, I'm seeing it just kind of just gyrate in the target, just, like a little buzzing bee, which is fine. It's all within the appropriate area of the target. But you want to try to minimize that movement. So the gun's dry. You're just going to dry fire it. There we go. That was dialed in. Another dry fire rep. More dry fire. The more reps you get on the range with less rounds. So we're at 10. We're going to squeak it back. And obviously the time's going to increase with this too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 20 yards. 20 yards. Feeling large. I'm going to take this first one nice and slow. Really just being accountable for my sights in that trigger press. We had one little dinger there. Almost caught my shirt on that draw. That was a 426. I'll do that one more time, just a little bit more focused on the target. There we go. That was better. 348. So good draw coming out. Didn't catch my shirt or anything like that. And solid time under 350. I don't really know what a good time is for this. It changes on your day. It changes on your get up. The concealed draw is going to add a little bit of time to it. Not that big of a deal, but we're going to push it back a little bit farther. All right, we're at 27 yards. And this is the maximum distance I have because Pima Pistol Club will not allow us to shoot underneath this beautiful shade structure that they made. We have 6 rounds, 27 yards, and I want to make sure that I'm getting all 6 hits on the target. That was a 391. So yeah, sub 427. Nice and easy, consistent pace, and it just makes you feel so good. Like better than you've ever felt before. All right, so for this next drill, this is where you kind of pick and choose something for yourself. I'm choosing to do the X-Ray Alpha 10 hit factor drill. It's a 20 round drill at 4 different distances for 20 rounds total. And everything has to be in the A box. If you shoot a Charlie, you fail. Line breakers do count. So we're gonna pace it out. We got 5, 10, 15, and 20. There we go. We have 5 positions. We're gonna be shooting 5 rounds per position. We're gonna total our time and then figure out what our hit factor is going to be. So that is a total of 100 points on the target. Every alpha hit counts as 5 points. And a Charlie technically doesn't count, but we're gonna still factor in whatever that hit factor is because Matt Pranka, you can't tell me what to do, okay? I don't abide to your laws. Let me get my phone for the hit factor. Fuck, that was 6. The bill drills are ingrained in me. I can't help but shoot 6. We're gonna reshoot it though. In the original 10 hit factor video where we go over this drill specifically, I also shot bill drills, but we just rocked with it. I'm redoing it so we can get 5 so we can do this properly. I almost shot 6. 302. $268. $202. Thank you, baby Jesus. 202. 202 for a total of 974. 974 total time. So you have 100 points divided by 9.74. That equals a 10.26 hit factor. Smoking, and we're joking, okay? 10 hit factor is very high for this drill. It's a good hit factor. Everybody loves a large, absolutely huge hit factor for this drill. I think that's the best hit factor I've gotten from concealed yet. Maybe this warm-up's doing something for me, even with a little bit of the mosh posh that we had earlier. We have 10 rounds left, so let me show you what we're gonna do with those 10 rounds. I wanted to like zoom in dramatically so it's all like you know, like cinematic. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we have 10 rounds left. I wanna do some reloads. I wanna do some strong hand and weak hand shooting. So we're gonna do 1 reload 1, which is like maximum cringe minus 10,000 aura, but they're still useful. And I just wanna play around a little bit. Play around with the gun. We get a little reload in there, a little strong hand, little weak hand, and we'll do it on steel. So when I miss, you guys get to make fun of me in the comments. One shot, initiate, reload, strong hand. We're gonna do that twice. There we go. 365 with a 225 reload. Okay, reload, 1126 on the split. All right, now we have 3 more reps in. We're gonna reload and do support hand. Oh, it picked up 3 shots. That's too much math for me. I don't wanna do it. Two shots, 246. I wanna do a redemption on strong hand. So this last rep, dealer's choice, we're gonna rep it out. Oh fuck, I had to rack it. Apparently that's too much brain function for me in this heat because I thought I got to do an emergency reload, but I had to rack it and didn't account for it. Meet me in the shade. 100 rounds. Concealment practice today. We got through all of them. When I did this earlier, they all fell out. We did the draw drill. We did 20 reps of that. 20 singular draw reps. 20 draw reps, really honing in on your focus and purpose for shooting. Then we moved into doubles to get you working on your sight tracking to make sure you have the correct inputs on your gun. Then we moved into build drills where you start building into that executable speed. We had the steel targets, so we utilized them, and that tells you if you're failing or not right off the bat. And then we just kind of did a drill to encapsulate everything and give us a metric to test on that performance on-demand speed with the X-Ray Alpha, Sex-Ray Alpha 10 hit factor drill. Then we finished off with just some strong hand, weak hand. I like to incorporate a little bit of strong hand, weak hand into all of my practices, usually just with spare rounds that I have in the magazine, just to be familiar with it. I found that it's one of my stronger suits and matches when I'm shooting USPSA because I frequently practice it. We mentioned Brantley earlier from T-Rex Arms. He does this as well. He practices strong hand, weak hand very frequently, and it's one of his largest skill sets that he has. So it's good to stay up on it. Just remember to rack your slide if it's empty. And if you have a malfunction, stay in the fight. Get it working for you. Don't have an 11-second reload. If your reload is 11 seconds, there's a lot more fundamentals you should work on. And this is a practice that I would do for where I'm at in my shooting and understanding of my gun. If you're still not comfortable drawing, if you're still not comfortable doing some of these fundamental basics, these are things that I would hammer out in dry fire before going to the range and then confirming in live fire practice. So you practice your drills throughout the week at home, and when you come to the range with those 100 rounds, you're practicing the drills that you dry fired, and that is huge. And that's something I did when I was first starting to work on my shooting skills. Dry fire drills, confirm it with live fire when you get to the range, because when I first started, I still had a normal 9-to-5 job. I was in commercial real estate doing like 60 to 80 hours a week, and my time on the range was limited. So you have to utilize it by doing dry fire, and you can do dry fire while you're on the range. Don't negate that, because that gives you extra reps while you're in the range setting, while looking at real targets, while handling your gun in the same setting that you'd be practicing in or competing in. Hope you guys found this useful, and if you're still here, these hats are not for sale. You can only get them if you see me at matches or other range events. And for this one, whoever leaves the funniest comment, I'll send you a hat, okay? The belt hat, belt thrasher hat. By this time the video's out, the shirt should be out, the merch should be out. And yeah, if you want one of these hats, that will never be for sale ever in this colorway. Comment down below something funny. Make me laugh. Completely objective. You decide how based you want to be with that comment. My name is Hunter Constantine, and I approve this message.